Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about some realistic center options for the New York Knicks. But before I get to that, I want to remind you the channel has been demonetized. So if you could support the channel, we would greatly appreciate it. You can support the channel by hitting the Cash App at $ nothing but Knicks or PayPal at paypal.me/nothing but Knicks. There's a link in the description of the video. It's also pinned to the top of your YouTube chat. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and break this one down. Because as you know, there's a possibility that Mitchell Robinson will be out for the remainder of the season. Now, according to Ian Begley, it's not solidified yet. Still up in the air. Of course, we know there's a possibility that Mitchell Robinson will be out for the remainder of the season, but it's not all said and done. Okay, but if it is said and done, the Knicks got to make some decisions, and they got to find a way to bring in a big man, ladies and gentlemen. To bring in a big man as an insurance policy, because I like Taj. I think Taj is a great dude. But guess what? He's older. You know what I mean? His body will break down. So I think you need to add that front court depth to this basketball team. You know what I mean? So let's start talking about some realistic options, because I've seen things out there about guys that I view as unrealistic. You know what I mean? Starting centers from other teams. Look, I'm not looking for a starter right now. In my opinion, the Knicks don't need a starter. I think Isaiah Hartenstein is going to be the starter and should be the starter. Right? So I'm looking at guys that can back up Isaiah Hartenstein. Guys that can be an insurance policy. Not someone who's going to come in and start. I think Isaiah Hartenstein is going to be the starter, ladies and gentlemen. And, I want to, just send my condolences to Mitchell Robinson, man, if that's the right word. I feel bad for the brother, man. I feel bad for him. He said on Snapchat earlier today, I just don't get it. I do everything I'm asked when it comes to my body, and this still happens. Excuse my language. WTF. What another year, another disappointment. I know he's feeling bad. You know what I mean? I know he's feeling bad. And although Ian Begley had reported, it's not a done deal, it definitely looks like it's going in that direction. And he's going to be out for the remainder of the season. So let's start looking at some realistic possibilities, not starting centers for other teams, unless that guy is really available. Right? But some realistic guys. Now, last night when we had, some conversations, there were some people that brought up Skipinstev from our own Westchester Knicks. So maybe the New York Knicks should look in-house first. I mean, they already went outside to get Taj Gibson, and I understand it. But maybe they should look at Skipinstev first. He's 7'1", 215 pounds. Right now for the Westchester Knicks, he's giving you 5.9 points per game, 4.5 rebounds, and 1.2 blocks in 18.9 minutes. Now, I know this is the Westchester Knicks. It's not the NBA. Right? But he's a center, and he's mobile. He can shoot it. He can do some things. Is he going to do that on a consistent basis in the NBA right now? Probably not. But he really might be a legitimate option, ladies and gentlemen. You know, you can see, listen, he's got good footwork. He understands, he's got a good feel for the game. You see him right there with a little, fadeaway pull-up jump shot. All right, he can put the ball on the floor, go to the basket, spin with a little mid-range shot. You can run a little bit of pick and roll. It doesn't have great athleticism. It's not going to jump over a whole bunch of people. But it's clear the guy understands the game. He knows how to play. And obviously, you see he can pass the ball from the top of the key. Maybe he adds another dimension to the Knicks team. Most likely, if the Knicks did bring him up, he would be an insurance policy, right? An insurance policy. I don't think he's going to come in and give you 10 to 15 minutes a game right away. He'd be an insurance policy. But right now, playing for the Westchester Knicks, he's not on a two-way or nothing like that. So the guy can get picked up or scooped up by anybody. Now, Ian Begley did also report today that he is someone who would be on the Knicks' radar. You know what I mean? He'd be on the Knicks' radar. So is he someone that you would consider as a Knicks backup? I'm going to tell you this. I do like his skill set. I think he has a good skill set. I think he understands the basketball game. I don't know if he has the athleticism, the speed, and all of that stuff to play in the NBA right now. But I'm going to tell you this. Just in my opinion, the Knicks need someone who has experience. NBA experience, in my opinion. Someone who's been around the league for a little while. I think that is probably going to be the better option for the Knicks. Right? A guy who's got some experience, a guy who's been around the league for a little while. I mean, because the Knicks are, listen, they're trying to compete. And I seen someone in the chat say, we already got Jericho Sims as a project. We don't need another project. I understand it. David L. said Sims is a solid backup. He is. I guess, he is a solid backup, but I'm going to tell you what, from what I've seen from Jericho Sims, at least as a starter, I'm not just fully comfortable, I guess. You know what I mean? And I think that's the reason why the Knicks, they had Mitchell Robinson and they got Hartenstein, because they wasn't fully comfortable with Jericho Sims. I'm not fully comfortable with Jericho Sims. And Greg, I'm not comfortable with Mo Bamba. There's something about him and his work ethic that I'm not happy with when it comes to Mo. There was a time when I really did want Mo. I thought maybe the Knicks could bring him in, but the more that I learned about him, I figured out, hey, the work ethic isn't there, and I don't know. At least from what I've seen and heard. Right. So while Skipinstev is a talented guy, and I think the Knicks will consider him, maybe they'll consider just putting him on a two-way. Right? Replacing one of our two-ways with him so that, they have him locked up. They don't have to worry about it. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to worry about it. So now you can still go out and get an insurance policy or another backup center, and you still got this guy in tow. All right, so maybe that's a solution there with Skipinstev. Now, I also think that the Knicks need to reach out to the Detroit Pistons. Just reach out to the Pistons. Because they have a slew of guys there that can play the center spot. Right now, Jalen Duren is hurt. Right? Jalen Duren is hurt right now. So, these guys are playing more minutes. But when Jalen Duren comes back, and he's not expected to be out like the season or anything like that, when Jalen Duren gets back, I don't know who it's going to be, but one of these guys are probably going to get less minutes, a lot less minutes. So the Pistons they got like 4 centers. And the Knicks have a good relationship with the Pistons, right? Over the past couple of years, they've done some dealings with the Pistons. I think I would reach out. I mean, Marvin Bagley, 10.2 points per game, 4.7 rebounds, just under a block per game. Well, a half a block per game in 18.7 minutes. He makes $12.5 million this season. He makes $12.5 million next season. Not too much money. How do the Knicks, what do the Knicks give up to get him? I don't know. And I'm not exactly sure how you get that, how you use the disabled player exception if the Knicks get the disabled player exception. I'm not exactly sure how you use it. Right? I don't know. Can you add it in a trade for a guy like Marvin Bagley that's making $12.5 million and then throw in another player to make the money match? Now, I've got to do some research on that and figure it out. I'm going to do another show about possible replacements for Mitchell Robinson with some other guys. This is what I'm starting out with. Marvin Bagley's been a starter in this league. He's played on some decent teams. He's played on some very bad teams. He's playing on a very bad team right now that's lost 24 in a row. But he's still kind of young. And maybe under the tutelage of someone like Tom Thibodeau and on a team that's a little bit more serious about what they're trying to do, maybe Marvin Bagley, can get it in shape. Then you got Isaiah Stewart. He's giving you 10.2 points per game, 6.8 rebounds, 0.6 blocks per game. And these numbers are not mistakes, ladies and gentlemen. All 3 guys are giving you 0.6 blocks per game. Now, Isaiah Stewart is doing these 10 points and 6.8 rebounds in 30 minutes per game. Now, if you were to trade for Isaiah Stewart, you have a longer commitment. He makes $5.2 million this season. And then between 2024 and 2028, the 24, 25, 25, 26, 26, 27, and 27, 28, he makes $15 million a year per year. And when I say $15 million a year, it's actually $15 million per year. So if you were to make a move for Isaiah Stewart, there's a commitment there. I know there was a lot of people last night when we introduced the topic, talking about where the Knicks go next as far as a backup center, a lot of people were mentioning Isaiah Stewart, right? Because of his, the way he plays the game. The way he plays the game fits what the Knicks, how the Knicks play. And I agree with that 100%. The way he plays is exactly what the Knicks probably want on this basketball team. His aggression, his rebounding, the constant energy, the work. He fits the bill. But you're making a 5-year commitment almost, or whatever it is, to the young man. On a decent contract, no doubt about that. But he is undersized, 6'8". So if he's playing your center position, now when you look at this second unit, if he was playing in that second unit, they're going to be very small. 6'8" would be your tallest guy out there on the floor. I'm not exactly sure if that's what you want to do. Now, can he play some backup power forward? Yes, he can. Could you put him out there with Jericho Sims? I don't know. Could you put him out there with Taj Gibson? I think so. Because Taj Gibson can shoot the ball a little bit from the perimeter. Can shoot the ball a little bit from the three-point line. He doesn't do it a lot. But he can knock it down. He is capable. He can definitely shoot it from the mid-range. But I don't think you're bringing in a guy to play with Taj Gibson or Jericho Sims. You're bringing in a guy to either play instead of Jericho Sims or be another insurance policy. Now, if you bring in a guy to play instead of Jericho Sims, then things kind of go back to the way they were, right? Jericho Sims coming off the bench, Taj Gibson, Taj Gibson wasn't here, but Taj Gibson being, an insurance policy, Jericho Sims also an insurance policy, and then that player, getting those backup minutes that Hartenstein was getting. You got James Wiseman over there. James Wiseman. He's making $12.1 million this season, and then he makes $15.2 million in the 24-25 season, but that's a player option. What you see on the screen, you see 24-28, but that's wrong. It's 24-25, and it's a player option for James Wiseman. We all know the story of who James Wiseman is. Young guy. He hasn't fulfilled the potential that everyone thought he had. But he's a talented young man. He's a talented young man, and it may not be a bad idea if you can get a James Wiseman to get him in the fold. Get him in the fold. I mean, he's played in the NBA for a little while. Listen, he's not that experienced guy, though. He's not an energy guy either. You know what I mean? And he would kind of be another project. It's the only thing. Because I do understand when people say we don't need projects on this basketball team. I get it. And he would be another project. But he'd be a project that can come in and play for you as well. Right? So, the Pistons have some options that the Knicks may like, ladies and gentlemen. They have some options the Knicks may like. The Knicks may like. I think they need to make a call to the Pistons. Right? Make a call to the Pistons. The Knicks have a good relationship with the Pistons. See if you can make something happen. See if you can make something happen. They have some young talent there that, could definitely fit with what the New York Knicks are doing. Isaiah Stewart, I may have to think about that a little bit more because of the contract, not because of who he is as a player. He's a great player that definitely fits with the New York Knicks. But do you want his contract, not the size of the contract, do you want the length of the contract? It's the question for me when it comes to Stewart, because he's on the books till 2028. Ladies and gentlemen, please make sure you support the channel. You can support the channel through hitting the Cash App at $NothingButKnicks or by using PayPal at paypal.me/NothingButKnicks. As you know, the channel's been demonetized, so your support is greatly, greatly appreciated, ladies and gentlemen. You can see that information pinned to the top of your YouTube chat. You can also see it in the description of the video. Also, in the description of the video, there are links to Spotify. There are links to Apple. Also, links to Believe, where you can listen to exclusive content as well as this content on those platforms. All right, so make sure you check those out too. But yeah, New York Knicks, man, give a call to the Detroit Pistons because I think they have some realistic options there for the New York Knicks. Another guy that I would really, really think the Knicks should consider is Andre Drummond. the Knicks have got to consider Andre Drummond. Put in a call to the Chicago Bulls, ladies and gentlemen. And I seen some people in the chat talking about, look, I see White Falcon say no. I'm saying yes. He's the perfect backup, in my opinion, to Isaiah Hartenstein. The perfect backup. Right now, he's getting like 18.7 minutes per game. He's going to grab 10 rebounds. He's going to grab he's going to get you 10 points, 4.7 rebounds. Another guy giving you like a half a block per game. I don't know what's up with these dudes and these half a blocks, but you know what I mean? You know, he's not going to be expecting a lot of minutes, and he makes $3.3 million. Right? He does the same things that Mitch was already doing. He can rebound on the offensive side and the defensive side. He can throw his body around. I think you got to make a call about Andre Drummond. I think he fits with this New York Knicks team. And while you're at it, you might as well start having discussions about other guys. DeMar DeRozan, et cetera, et cetera. Right? You know, someone that you can get. He's been a starter in this league. He's played on good teams. He's played on bad teams. He gets the league. And Keith, you said, how does Andre Drummond fit? We'll talk about it. He understands the league. He's been in the league for a while. You know what I mean? You know, and that's the kind of guy you want, I think, in this situation. I seen some people say, well, you know, Andre Drummond can be goofy, boom, 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 boom. I think he's matured a bit, especially since you know, he's gone from being an all-star type player to just getting a veteran's minimum within a couple of years. I think his mental is a little bit different. I think he would accept the role and do well for the New York Knicks. Now, how does he fit? How does he not fit? Let me ask you that. Right? Who are you? I mean, are you looking for an all-star? We're not getting that. We're not getting that. Right? Isaiah Hartenstein is going to be the starting center. Unless something spectacular happens. Right? No. Isaiah Hartenstein is going to be the starting center. So who do you need coming off your bench? Right? You need a guy that can rebound. A guy that can block some shots. Right? A guy that can set some screens. And every once in a while, score in the post. That's what Andre Drummond does, and that's who he is. He's not going to spread the floor. He's not, you know, so we're not expecting him to do that. You know what I mean? Andre Drummond does exactly what the Knicks are going to need from a backup center. He's probably, when he's actually playing, when he was playing 30 minutes a game, he was the best rebounder in the league, or one of the top 5 rebounders in the league. You know, he probably should be the Knicks' first option, the first call that they make. I would still make a call to Detroit, see what's going on there, though. But Andre Drummond should probably be the first call that the Knicks make. And then while you're at it, you know, you're building that relationship with the Chicago Bulls to start having some discussions. In my opinion, I think you should have discussions about DeMar DeRozan, too. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. That's where I'm at with it. That's where I'm at with it. I think that, you know, Andre Drummond would be a pretty good fit to this basketball team. Now, I've seen in the chat people mention some other guys. You know, I do have another guy I want to talk about, but he's a younger guy. I'll get to him in a second. You know, I've seen some guys talk about Kelly Olynyk. You know, I wouldn't mind Kelly Olynyk. I'm not even, sure how much he makes right now. I wouldn't mind Kelly Olynyk. My question is, will the Utah Jazz even deal with the New York Knicks? You know what I mean? What's that relationship like? That's my biggest question there. You know, because you know how things went down with Donovan Mitchell. So I don't know if that relationship is strong enough to make a deal happen. Now, you would think that, you know, guys are professionals and they're able to say, hey, you know what, it was business and all of that stuff. Right? But sometimes it don't happen that way. Sometimes it don't happen that way. And then, yeah, now you got to deal with Danny over there. You know what I mean? I don't know about Kelly Olynyk. You know, like realistically, as far as the Knicks being able to deal for him, I'm not sure. Let's get to a phone call. I'm going to ask the person, you know, on the line, can you please make sure you turn down the show in the background? I need you to turn down the show in the background. All right? Yeah, so we don't get an echo.
All
cool.
All right.
All right, you're live, brother. Name and where you're from, please.
Yeah, Indiana, Winston from Indiana.
What's going on, Winston? How you feeling, man?
Yeah, I'm concerned, and I'm concerned about Mitch Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, could they think about Mo Bamba? Is that possibility?
I mean, I think it's a possibility, but I'm not intrigued by Mo Bamba personally.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm just concerned about the work ethic. You know, he hasn't proven that he can last in the NBA. I mean, obviously he's been in the NBA. You know what I mean? He's still in the league, but he hasn't proved that he can really produce at a high level in the league. So I'm just not, I don't know. You know, I'm not sold on Mo Bamba coming and being the backup guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I already talked about Drummond, and they talk about Kelly Olynyk as possible replacements.
Mm-hmm.
But I hear you mentioned that the Jazz, I think, has Kelly Olynyk.
Yeah.
Oh, we don't want to deal with Danny Ainge. No.
That's the thing, man. We got to deal with Danny Ainge. Got to deal with Danny Ainge. And I don't even know how, you know, I don't know how strong that relationship is, in, you know, between Leon Rose and Danny Ainge with everything that happened with Donovan Mitchell. I don't know.
It would be easier to get Drummond from Detroit because we have a better relationship with Detroit.
Well, he's in Chicago now.
Oh, he's in Chicago? That's where he's at?
Yeah, he's in Chicago now. He's in Chicago now. He went from Detroit to Philadelphia, I think. Played behind Joel Embiid, and then he went to Chicago.
Okay.
Yeah.
How old is he?
Drummond, early 30s, I think.
That's not bad.
Early 30s.
For a backup, yeah. That's not bad.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I actually think that he fits perfectly with the Knicks. Now, I also think Kelly Olynyk would fit, though. I'm not going to lie. I think he would fit, too, because he can spread the floor, and the Knicks knew they do need a guy that can spread the floor.
Yeah, and you're correct. You're right about that. Actually, I was talking to somebody about it earlier this afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
That, you know, you'd have where you could mix it up with Kelly Olynyk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have somebody comes in and stretch the floor, you know, open the lane, that type of thing. Yeah.
Right. And I just looked it up. Andre Drummond is 30 years old.
Yeah. Oh.
So you know, let's.
He's still good. He's still good to go.
Yeah, he's still good. He's still got years left. I don't even know if you're bringing him in for years, but you still got some time with Andre Drummond. You know what I mean? I mean, you're still getting a guy that should have good and fresh legs. Like Taj is 39, 38.
Yeah. He's too old. You know what I
mean?
He shouldn't be doing no more than 10 to 15 minutes a game.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And if you're bringing a guy like Andre Drummond, he probably becomes just a straight up insurance policy and not get any minutes per game.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
You know? So, but, you know, the Knicks definitely have to do something. Because
Yeah,
I'm not.
they got to get an insurance policy on Mitchell
Yeah.
Robinson. We don't know even after the end of the season what's going to happen.
Right.
Because when you talk about screws going into your foot,
Mm-hmm.
the rehabilitation is going to be much longer.
Right. Exactly.
So yeah, that's what I'm concerned about. Because we're looking forward to get into the Eastern Conference final. If not this year, the following year. And right now, the way the top
so.
of the Eastern Conference is, it's really, really tough.
I hope so. You know what I mean?
It's
I
tough.
hope so.
We have
It's
to
tough.
make some
It's
moves.
definitely tough. But I hope the Knicks can, try to get to the. I mean, that's the goal, right? To go as far as they can. They need the depth, and that's the whole thing about, with some of these young guys. It makes it tough. Yeah, you're bringing in a guy that can produce for you, can give you something. Maybe be a good guy in the playoffs. I mean, I'm sorry, in the regulars, in the give you some minutes in the season and things like that. Young guys, be good for you in the future. But you need that veteran. You need those veteran guys that's been around for a while. That's the whole thing. Yeah, you need you need
because
those
the
veteran
veteran
guys.
gives the younger guys direction.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like in a situation like this, is you need those veterans in a situation like this who can come in right away and pick up what you're laying down. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's where Drummond would be good. Kelly would be good too.
Yeah. Both of those guys would be.
For a while.
Both of those guys would be. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just don't know about those dealings with Danny Ainge. I don't know how that's gonna go.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, we just have to keep our fingers crossed and see what happens, right? So, and hopefully we can pluck maybe Drummond or somebody out of the hat.
Yeah. And Kelly is making 12.2 million this season.
That's too much.
And then he's a free agent next season.
Next season, that's too much.
mean?
So what's it? A $7.8 million exception they're asking for?
Well, yeah, that's what the Knicks are asking for. So if you were going to trade for a guy like Kelly Olynyk, you would have to trade the exception plus another player.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't think we wanted to. I don't think the Don is going to want to do that.
Maybe not. Maybe not. I mean, but then that's going to go for a few guys that's on the list, right? Anyone that's in Detroit that we talk about, anyone that's in Detroit, they're making, $12 million a year at least. You know what I mean? So, if you're making a trade for any of those guys, you'd have to use that disabled player exception and trade another guy, if you can even use the exception like that. You know what I'm saying?
You have to fill out the salary. Yeah.
Yeah. You got to do that. So, if you're not making a trade, I mean, Andre Drummond is $3.3 million. That's another thing that makes him enticing. You know what I mean?
Attractive.
Yeah.
Very attractive.
Yeah, because it's $3.3 million for 1 year. You know what I mean? So, that makes it an attract, especially when you have a need right there. But the Bulls also have a need for him because they only got one center. They only have two centers.
Wow. So they may not want to let him go.
They may not, unless, obviously you're going to have to sweeten the pot with second-round picks or something like that. You may even have to add Jericho Sims. Say, yeah, you guys can have Jericho Sims as the backup. We'll take Andre Drummond because we like, this, that, and the third. Then you have to ask yourself, are you okay with giving up a young player to bring in Andre Drummond?
Yeah, but
there's a lot of thought that has to go into it.
If you had to think about where we are, would you mind giving up Jericho Sims for Andre Drummond?
I wouldn't. I like Jericho. I do. You know what I mean? But I don't feel like Jericho Sims is going to be, maybe one day he's going to be a good backup center. That's how I feel.
No, if you're thinking about, okay, would Andre Drummond be a better player if he had to play in the playoffs than Jericho Sims. I think he would be.
Oh,
better.
yeah. I think he would be. Yeah.
So we got to make some assessments there and say, when do we want to win? 2 years down, 3 years down the road, or maybe 2 years down the road.
Yeah. Right.
And what is our timeline? Then we got to make those assessments based on our timeline.
Right. And with Andre Drummond making $3.3 million, and then he's a free agent after that, you're not keeping him around either. But then obviously you gave up a young player for a guy that you're not keeping around. So
you're
who
not
knows?
keeping. You're not keeping, and that's not good either. So,
right. So there's some decisions to be made.
I totally get you, man. I totally get you. But if they could keep him and still add Drummond, that'd be great.
Yeah, that would be. No doubt. But hey, Winston, I thank you, man. I appreciate your time.
All right, you take care, man. All right, we wish for the best.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself.
Without a doubt. Peace.
Good. Peace. Bye.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot to think about when it comes to making these moves. I just know that we're not making a move for a major center. We're not making that move, in my opinion. I think it would. I don't feel like. I mean, you're expecting Mitchell Robinson to come back next season. And obviously, Mitchell Robinson is injury prone, so there's a question there because he's so injury prone, right? But I don't. And now, unless a star comes your way from that position, or someone who was just hands down, so much better than Mitchell Robinson that you got to make the move. Then obviously, but I don't think that's happening. This is the reason why I say realistic. You know what I'm saying? Because I just don't see it happening. Now, there's been rumors out there that Clint Capela could be on the trading block. Now you got, $20 million. Do you want to use Evan Fournier for Clint Capela for 2 years? How are you going to deal with it when Mitchell Robinson does come back? Because he is a starting center in the league, Clint Capela. You know what I mean? Obviously, he would be there for this year, but now what are you doing next year? Right? What are you doing next year? I think that, you got to think about that as well. How does that work out? Now, some people say, hey, just make the move. And you worry about next year. But do you want to use Evan Fournier for Clint Capela, or do you want to use Evan Fournier to try to get another wing guy? You know what I mean? Another wing guy. Now, there is a veteran out there. Some people ain't going to like it. You know what I mean? But there's a veteran guy out there that played for the Knicks before that the Knicks could go get. Oh, Stonehands himself, Nerlens Noel. He's a free agent. The Knicks could pick up Nerlens as another insurance policy, right? He can block shots. He's a good defender. Not really a great it's okay rebounder. But I see the chat. I see it. Right? But we can't deny what Nerlens did when he was here, when he was healthy. You know what I mean? Like, Nerlens helped the Knicks get to the playoffs that year. And it's not like he would have to play a whole lot of minutes. You know what I mean? So you may be preserving him. Now, he played under Tibbs, so you're bringing in someone who kind of knows what Tibbs is doing, what Tibbs wants to do, da-da-da-da. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, he's an option. Y'all might not like it, but he's an option. You know what I mean? We'll sit here and people act like, he played bad for us, but he didn't play bad for us. You know what I'm saying? The problem with Nerlens Noel is that he was always injured. That was his issue. He didn't play bad for us. He was always injured. Couldn't stay on the floor, and he couldn't catch. Those two things. He couldn't catch, couldn't stay injured. But look, you're probably not throwing him the ball a lot. All you want him to do is block some shots and play some defense, and he can do that. King Jai, he don't have butterfingers. He can't catch. He's got stones on his hands. Or something. The thing is, ladies and gentlemen, there's not a whole lot of options out there. You know what I mean? There's not a ton of them out there. And obviously, when you're making moves, you got to figure out what does, like it or not, you got to figure out what does Tom Thibodeau want. Because Tom Thibodeau is the one that's got to coach this team. So what does he want? So if you're Leon Rose, you got to say, hey, Tom, what would you like? What kind of guy do you want? You know what I mean? Now, I get it. Listen, I get all the reservation about Nerlens Noel. All I'm going to say is, just be prepared. Don't rule Nerlens Noel out that he would be somebody that the Knicks would sign. Because, he may be somebody, that they pick up and call. I'm just saying. You know what I mean? He may be somebody the Knicks pick up and call. Been here. Knows the, he knows the system. He knows what Tibbs is expecting. You know what Tibbs wants. And this is the reason why I see so many people in an uproar, because you all know what Tibbs wants in a center, and you know that Nerlens Noel can give you those two things. He can play defense and he can block shots. And you guys know that Tom Thibodeau wants those two things out of especially his backup center. And so you're scared that it could really come. And you know that Tom Thibodeau likes to go back and get players that he already had. You know that too. So some of y'all are a little bit scared that Nerlens Noel could be on his way back to New York. Don't be surprised if that happens, because you all know what could happen. You know what I mean? You all know that it could happen. But I'm just saying. He's not my first option. Not by a long shot. It's not my first option. But he's an option that's out there. You don't have to trade away any assets. You're paying him the veterans minimum. You know what I mean? He's an option that's out there. That's all I'm saying. And you still would have Jericho Sims in tow. So you would be using Jericho Sims as your backup center. And then Nerlens Noel and Taj Gibson would be your insurance policies. You understand what I'm saying? That's how I would envision it. Caller, you live. Name me where you're from, please.
Yeah, what up, man? This is Nino. I'm from the BX. I'm down in Florida.
What's going on, Nino?
Nerlens Noel is a good pickup, you know what I mean, as they do get him. Reason number one is because he's already in the system with Tim.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so
right.
he'll fall in and he'll do his job, man. He'll be like, as long as the coach let what's his name? Oh my God, on the fucking blank. Who's starting right now?
Oh, right now is Isaiah Hartenstein.
Hartenstein. As long as Hartenstein starts, you know what I mean? Noel already knows the system, and he'll be good pickup.
Yeah, I mean, I think he would be. See, the thing about Nerlens Noel is he don't have to play a lot of minutes. See, back when he was back then, you know what I mean? Like, he was playing a lot of minutes. So yeah, he's an injury prone guy. I mean, the Knicks are already dealing with injury-prone centers and whatnot, but you know,
No, but he's healthy, man.
but he wouldn't have to play a lot of minutes. He hasn't played a lot. You know,
He hasn't played a lot. He's not injured.
His body
He
should be a
knows
little
the
fresh.
system. He knows what his job is. It's like Gibson. They're all under the umbrella. They know what the system is.
Right.
So, you know.
Right. And that's why I wouldn't rule him out as being the guy that they would pick up. You know what I'm saying? I'm not
That's a good thing.
ruling him out.
That's why they should pick him up, because he already knows the system. He knows his coach. The same thing with Gibbs. Like, you know what I mean? They're not starting.
Right.
They're coming off the bench.
Right.
They're giving you the minutes. They doing what they can, and they already know the system, so they can do certain things.
Yeah. We'll see what happens, man. Nah, I mean, I'm in agreement with you. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be upset. He's not my first pick. I would definitely look towards other centers before I'm looking at Nerlens. But I'd keep him right there in the back of my mind. You know what I'm saying? And say, all right, you know, if I can't get boom, 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 or boom, I'm gonna give Nerlens a call. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, but hey, my man, I appreciate.
But even if you do get boom, 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 you got to bring boom, 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 boom into the system.
Yeah, you're right.
Norrell
exactly
is going to come in right in.
You're
so
right.
You're going to know my job.
Yeah. Nah, you're definitely right about that. You know what I mean? And it makes it an easy transition. That's one of the reasons Taj Gibson is here.
And you got two dudes that know the system, jumping into the system and getting all the younger dudes to be like, yo, this is the system. And we're going to be good, man.
Yeah, we'll see. Hey, my man, I appreciate the time, brother. Thank you for the call.
Yo, I love your show, man. I tune in a lot. First time calling. Super nervous. And I had a couple of drinks. But I salute you. I love your show, man.
I appreciate you, bro. No problems. Be easy.
All right, man.
All right, peace.
What's up?
I'm just saying. And I did see, I forgot who it was that was in the chat, said, you know, why replace one injury-prone center with another injury-prone center? I agree with you 100%. That's why he wouldn't be my first call. He wouldn't be my first option. You know what I'm saying? But also realize that he's an insurance policy. If I brought in Nerlens Noel, Jericho Sims is still being my backup. You dig what I'm saying? And then we have another insurance policy. You know, because, you know, Taj is, you know, both of those guys, Taj and Nerlens Noel, they're older. But, you know, if you're, you know, if there's a night where you got to give them 10 minutes, they can go. Those 10 minutes. Got to give them 15 minutes, they can go. They go a 3-game stretch. You got to give them 10, 15 minutes, they can go. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you have some guys, some experienced guys on the bench. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Now, there's another guy that I have in mind that I would really like on this team, but I don't feel like he fits what the Knicks. I don't feel like he's the right guy right now because he's young. First of all, I don't think the Knicks could get him, but I wanted to throw him on his list because I like him. You know what I'm saying? Because I like him. Charles Bassey. We played against him not too long ago. He's a young guy, doesn't get a lot of minutes in San Antonio right now, but he plays and works hard. His current salary is $2.6 million. Then in 24-25, it's a $2.5 million team option. 25-26 is a $2.5 million team option, right? He's not going to do what I think this team needs right now, you know, when we're looking at, you know, what's going on, you know, with Mitchell Robinson, right? I do think we need someone who has experience, a lot of experience in it, a vet. I think we need a vet. Right, I do. I think we need a vet. But if this is an opportunity to pull in a guy like him, I think you try it. Keith Turner, I agree with you. They're probably not giving up Bassey, but I would make the call just to see. Since I'm making phone calls, I'd make the call just to see. Now I seen someone say Bassey is injured. I didn't see that he was injured, but I'm not going to discount you. But I would see just to see. Who knows? You know, maybe they say, hey, you know, throw us this, that, and the third, and we can make it happen. But he's a young guy. I was impressed when he played the Knicks. Oh, he's also out for the season? Oh, well, forget it. Never mind then. I didn't know he was out for the season. You can scratch this guy off the list. Sheesh. That hurts. Tough. An ACL. Well, I can move this right along then, and we can scratch that guy off the list. I didn't know he was out for the season. Man. I hate when players tear their ACLs, man. I just had one of my young ladies tear her ACL. So scratch him off the list. Or maybe don't scratch him off the list. Maybe inquire about him so you can have him when he comes back. I didn't know that he tore his ACL. He was out. So then, see, you guys are sending me right back to Nerlens Noel now. It's your fault. Y'all sending me right back to Nerlens Noel. You know what I mean? No, Greg, I just because I don't follow all 350 players in the league. Sometimes it happens like that. You know what I mean? I don't freestyle. I mean, do you see what's on your screen? Do you think I just freestyled this and just put all of these numbers and all this stuff on your screen like that? No, it took time. It took time for me to do that. That's not freestyling, my friend. But I'm not perfect either. You dig what I'm saying? Not perfect either. I would still try to go get Bassey. I would still say, all right, you know what? Let me inquire about this young guy. I know he's not going to help us right now, but since we're making phone calls, let me see. You never know. He might be somebody, you know, in the future. He's a good young player. And I'm sure, even though you see Pop is yelling at him right now, you know what I'm saying? He's teaching him. You know what I mean? Talking about him freestyling. Somebody kick Greg out of the chat. Nah, don't kick him out. I'm just joking. Jay Fitz said Isaiah Stewart fixes what the Knicks need, what ails the Knicks. He can be a backup 4, be a backup 5. Yes, I agree. He does. The thing about Isaiah Stewart, again, is do you want to commit to, you know, till 2028? Because that's when his contract is. You know, his contract goes until 2028. You know what I mean? That's the thing about Isaiah Stewart. And then he's small. He's 6'8". You know what I mean? So at 6'8", I know what he gives you. You know what I mean? I know the type of player that he is. He's aggressive, rebounds the basketball. He does all of those things that you want. He can't play power forward or center, but then, of course, you're playing undersized with him. You're playing undersized with him. You know what I mean? And, you know, that's just another thing. That's just another thing. We're already so small. Already so small. I don't know. The Knicks got to figure out a way to do something. If I'm them, I'm calling Detroit. I'm calling Chicago. I'm calling both of those teams. If the Knicks haven't already done so, right? I'm calling them. Right? Detroit has a plethora of bigs. You know what I mean? Jalen Duren, he's injured right now, but they got Marvin Bagley, Isaiah Stewart, James Wiseman. Those guys could be up for trade. They could be up for trade. I'm making a call. You know what I'm saying? To see if I can, if it's worth trying to snatch one of these guys. You know what I mean? The Knicks have a good relationship with Detroit. They've had dealings with Detroit over the last couple of years. You know what I'm saying? Might as well give a call, see what's going on. I see people mentioning Kelly Olynyk. You know, as we talked about Kelly Olynyk a little bit earlier, I think the biggest issue with him, makes $12.1 million, $12.2 million. I'm not worried about that. The Knicks can find, especially if they get the disabled player exception, they can find a way to get Kelly Olynyk, through trade. The issue is dealing with Danny Ainge. Is the relationship good enough to deal with Danny Ainge? You know what I mean? That's the issue there. And then he's a free agent at the end of the season. And so you got to hope that you're going to re-sign him. But he would fit because he can shoot the ball. The Knicks need a guy that can shoot the ball. I definitely agree with that 100%. They need a guy that can shoot the ball. Who knows where the Knicks go, man? Guys, I do want to tell you, don't get mad at me if Nerlens Noel ends up in New York. So don't get mad at me if he ends up a Knick again. It's not my fault. All I did is, put him, all I did is say he's an option. It's not my fault. But I already know if he ends up in New York, people are going to come in the chat and say, see, Sim, you did it. I already know it. Right? They're going to come in and say, see, Sim, you did it. Ladies and gentlemen, please support the channel. As you know, we've been demonetized. We can't get our monetization back until January. So your support is much appreciated. Building Block said he's putting it on me because I put it in the universe. I don't think I'm the first one to put it in the universe. You know what I mean? But the channel's been demonetized, ladies and gentlemen, so please make sure that you support the channel if you can, right? By using Cash App. The Cash App is $nothing-but-Knicks, or PayPal is paypal.me/nothing-but-Knicks. You can get that information. It's in the chat right now. It's tagged to the top of your YouTube chat, and it's also in the description of the video. All right, so please, support a brother and everybody that's in the network. Support the channel. Again, Cash App, $nothing-but-Knicks, or PayPal at paypal.me/nothing-but-Knicks. And as you can see below me, when the ad changes, you can also support by checking out our podcast on either iTunes or Spotify. All right, there's a link in the description of the video to both of those platforms, also to Believe, right? There's a link there so you can catch a replay there. There'll be some exclusive content there. All right, so make sure you check us out there. And then, of course, you got the Captain Clutch hoodie or T-shirt exclusively at printjurisdiction.com. You can see that information below me. There goes the Apple Podcast and Spotify information right there. All right, so, support the channel, ladies and gentlemen. We definitely appreciate you for always joining us and supporting us and being here with us. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know what other options there's going to be out there. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure the front office will try to come up. They're going to come up with something. There's no doubt about it. They're going to come up with something, I think. Let me ask you this. Is there a chance that they just say, you know what? We are going to rock with Isaiah Hartenstein and Jericho Sims and Taj Gibson. Is there a chance they do that? I don't know. I'm just not sold with Jericho Sims right now. You know what I mean? I'm not sold, but they might just say, we got it and keep Hartenstein at the starting center spot, let Jericho Sims back him up, and just go with that. You know what I mean? And have Taj as the backup, as the insurance policy. You know what I mean? Might just be there. I don't know. Jerry Fitz said, yeah, until the trade deadline. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if they did that either. I'm sure they're gonna beat the tires, right? Let me find out what's out there. Let me see if there's anything. But in the back of their mind, they know, like, you know what? They feel good. They feel comfortable about Isaiah Hartenstein and Jericho Sims. But if we can find a way to upgrade through this situation, then yeah, they'll do it. So I don't know. They might just try to rock with that. They might just try to rock with it, say, you know what, just give us 10 games with it and see what it looks like. They might just do that. I don't know. We will see, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate your time. I'm going to get up out of here. I will definitely be back on. Let me see. The Knicks don't play again until Saturday, but I'll find some time to get on tomorrow. I don't know when or what time, but I'm sure I'll find some time to get on and, talk about whatever, any updates that we need to talk about. All right. I'll probably have a few more centers that I want to discuss as I'm doing my research, Greg. As I'm doing my research. You know what I mean? But, folks, I'm going to get up out of here. I appreciate your time. On the way out, please make sure you hit that like button for me. All right, hit the like button. Support the channel through Cash App, through PayPal. You already know the information. Cash App is $ nothing but Knicks. PayPal is paypal.me/nothing but Knicks. So you can check that out on the way out the door. You can, check out the Cash App or the PayPal. All right, make sure you check us out on Spotify, iTunes, Believe, and go to printjurisdiction.com, ladies and gentlemen. The link is in the description of the video. And check out those Captain Clutch T-shirts and hoodies. They're dope, without a doubt. But, folks, I'm up out of here. Be easy. One.
This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.